Hi everyone, let's begin to another video. In this video we will discussing about t-test. So there are basically three types of t-test. There are one sample t-test, the independent sample t-test, and of course the paired t-test. So here before going to t-test, you should always remember t-test is a parametric test. So you should know whether how a test should be applied. That means first you have to check the normality, then only you have to go for the t distribution. So first normality should be checked, and about the normality it was given in the previous video. Please have a look on that, then only you will know that which test should be applied. So coming to one sample t-test, one sample t-test is applied when you have a population mean. So you will say that for a population, let's say in this case age, so you will say the population age has a mean of 60. So you are checking whether that this sample is taken from that population. So if you want to check that this sample is taken from that population mean, then you have to compare, and for that we will use one sample t-test. For one sample t-test you can go for analyze, compare mean, then you will have one sample t-test. So this is the method in which we will use the one sample t-test. As I mentioned earlier, first it should follow normality, then only you can go for one sample t-test. So in this one sample t-test you have to give age, and as I said, the test value will be 60 because the population mean was 60 and I'm just checking that. So you can give the confidence interval 95%. If you have 90%, you can give that confidence interval, and you can click OK, and the output window you will have the one sample t-test. As you know, in the 95% confidence interval you will check the sig to tail, which is the p-value, and you can see it is less than 1, which means it is statistically significant. What does that mean? So statistically significant means we accept the alternative hypothesis. So what was the null hypothesis and what was the alternative hypothesis? So about the hypothesis, if you suggest, I will keep another video on that. Here as you can see, our alternative hypothesis will be not equal to 60, and which means our sample is not taken from that population mean. So that is one sample t-test. Now coming to independent sample t-test, you have checking that whether two characteristics or two groups have the same mean or not. So let's say here we have group A and we have group B also. So we are checking whether the age for group A as well as for group B is same or not. That is, the mean value of the age for group A and the mean value of the age of group B are same or not. That will be your null hypothesis. Alternative will be not equal to. We are taking two-tailed test. So that is when we will use the independent sample t-test. You have to first remember independent sample t-test also a parametric test, so you have to make sure it follows normality. So once you have make sure it is normal or not, you have to again comes to compare means. In this compare means you can just click independent sample t-test, and in the independent sample t-test you have to define the group. So group was group, the two groups should be given here. Once you give the group, you have to give the group 1 and 2. So you have to make sure it is given in the coding form, and then you have to give the test variable in the option. You can create which confidence interval you need. So okay, and you will get the group A and group B. So this is the descriptive of that, and you will have the independent sample t-test. So you have to always assume the equal variance are assumed unless the questions gives not assumed. So here you always check the sig to tail, not sig. We have to check for sig to tail for two tail test here, since it is two tail test. So it is 0.966, which means it is not significant. That means we accept the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis is both the mean for the two groups are same. So we have a p-value here, we have a t-value, we have degrees of freedom, we have mean difference and standard, and 95% confidence interval for the difference, for the mean difference. Okay, you have to make sure it is mean difference. So that is about independent sample t-test. Always remember it is a parametric test. Next we will go for paired t-test. So paired t-test will be used whenever one variable is measured at different points of time. That means here you can see the HR means the heart rate. So the heart rate is measured at 0th hour as well as 2nd hour. Now if there is a 3rd hour also, then it is not t-test, then it will go for an hour. So it is a repeated measure an hour, so that will be discussed after this. So here we have only two variables, so it is at 0th hour and as well as 2nd hour. So this is clearly a paired t-test. So once again, if the paired t-test assumption is that it is a parametric test, as so the two variables should follow normality. So if it follows normal, then we can go for paired t-test. So again, compare means you will have paired sample t-test, and paired sample t-test you can give those both variables here, and the options you can give the person 95% confidence interval and click OK. Then your paired sample t-test will be provided. So this will be a descriptive. Here you have a correlation, here you have the paired sample t-test. Again, sig two-tail, we are assuming two-tail, so it is statistically significant, and hence we will say that the mean value for the HR at 0th hour as well as 2nd hour are different, are not same, it will be different. We are taking two-tail. You have the T, you will have the mean value. This is the mean difference. Okay, this will be a mean difference, and its confidence interval is given in this. So this is all about this video. So I think you like this video. So coming back, as I said, you have to make sure it is parametric test, then only you have to follow these steps. So one sample t-test will be, as I said, you will have a population mean and you are comparing with that. For independent sample t-test, you will have a two group and you are comparing it with a continuous variable. So this will be your outcome variable. Age is your outcome variable, group is your exposure variable, so or independent variable. So in these two groups you are comparing, and hence you will use independent sample t-test. Paired is when the two continuous variable are measured or at different time period. So at that time you will use the paired t-test. Thank you for watching this video. So we will continue on various statistical test analysis. So next will be probably about ANOVA, and then we will talk about the non-parametric test. Thank you everyone.